So now, if you're going to pre-mix them on the ground, usually I put like some bus rocks together in a right angle, and usually because sand and rock, you're going to use more rock than sand. So I'd mix 2 buckets of rock and 2 buckets of sand, mix them together, and then throw it up, and then you would just leave the gate the same. And then on a scale, I would write down where you're at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you can kind of get your variance. Now.
So what you're saying is that if we just use the sand and gravel combo, then we don't have to put the divider in. We don't have to adjust the gauges.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
You don't have to split the gates.
Okay.
So, did you guys ever discuss on what kind of PSI that you guys wanted on the concrete?
3,000 PSI.
3,000. So the machine's set up for 4. So all you're gonna do is just back the sand off.
Right.
So this would be a figure. So in your handbook, you're going to see on every inch that you go, it's going to give you a different PSI. Right. So you're going to start at the highest, and give you 4, and then as you choke it down, you're going to go down to about 2,500. So on the gate alone, and then on the speed of the belt,
right, the conveyor belt,
correct, is going to be your amount of Portland that you put in. So if you're going, 3 per second, 2 feet per second, 1 foot per second, it's going to itemize on how often you're going to put cement in the bin itself. So manually, if you look under here, see here, this is your manual setup. So you release that jam nut, and for every full turn, you're going to gain 500 psi in cement. Okay. So right now it's set up for 4,000. If you back it off once, 3,500. You back it off again.
3,000.
3,000. Right. But that's going to slow your belt and your Portland down.
Absolutely.
Okay. So, and then the other manual gauge you see here is for the speed of your mixing belt. Okay. You manually speed it up or down.
Of the mixer.
Correct.
Okay.
I left it halfway in the middle there, and that usually gives you a pretty good mix.
Okay. And it has a vibrator inside.
Yeah. Okay. And that comes on when you're making one.
All right.
Now, if you're mixing, now usually if you're trying to get 13 yards an hour, you better have it on full mix. You better mix it hard, because it's gonna fling it out. You know what I mean? Right. Now, if you're just doing 5 yards here, 2 yards there, 1 yard there, I leave it about halfway, and as I watch it come out, if I start seeing white rock, I'll start mixing a little bit faster. I usually do. So there's a vibrator on each of the ports. So you're gonna hook this into just shop air. Usually about an 80-gallon will do it.
8 gallons tank will do it.
Even a small portable job will do it.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. So you're gonna put that in, and every time you start it on, the vibrator's gonna come on. Let me get some shop air, and you can kind of hear what they do. It vibrates the aggregate bend and the cement sub.
you guys, we have somebody to be operating, but you need to know the journey.
No weight in it.
It's going to give us some answers.
No.
So if there's no weight, you'll do that.
Yeah. If there's something in the belt, then it just go down nice and slow.
Yeah.
Why? Do we have extenders?
Yes.
We talked about it?
Yes, they're right there on the bottom of the thing. So those extenders will go up there on each one of those holes, and you have to put like wood.
A piece of wood.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
You're done?
And how does this power pack turn on?
Turn on?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, going on the power pack, so you're going to get information on the power pack, you know, the weekly, the monthly.
Okay.
So it's just got a system of self-checks, comes on. Got volume. Diesel tank.
All
And
right.
down here is your hydraulic, and it's got a gauge here.
All right, and these just connects to this here. Right?
Yep.
Okay.
Now you just got quick disconnects.
Okay.
Connect it, roll them up.
All right. That'll work.
Roll them up.
Okay.
So there's a shitload of grease points on this. Of course, that's going to be on your daily.
Absolutely.
I mean, everywhere you look, there's a filler block bearing. So
Absolutely.
Everything.
Daily grease.
daily. So if you think there's something moving, look at it. You'll find the grease point.
Absolutely.
Now there's a water interchange here that happens. So as you're mixing water, so when I turn this on, I predetermined here on a manual gauge where it says increase and decrease. If I turn that in, I get a wetter slump. If I screw it back,
It gets a dry
it
slump.
gets a drier slump, right?
Okay.
And you can measure right here on your manual gauge on gallons per minute. Here. This will start filling up. So if it's about a 6, you're going to get a 6
You're
slump.
gonna get a 6.
You get an 8-inch slump.
Okay.
Yeah. So these two are for your ad mixes. Here.
Okay.
You dial them in as you can get, 6 ounces, 4 ounces per yard. Polyheat and then retarder or HE, some higherly if you're pumping in winter or using it in winter. It's up to you.
And
Or you
this
can do
is-
a water reducer in there.
This is the water connect. I can connect either hose or tank.
Water connect is down here.
Okay.
See it?
That's the water connect.
Yep. So what happens is that runs through that diaphragm and then runs up here, and this gives you to wash your hands off, and then it runs into the machine.
All right.
So when I turn this off, collective, it turns the water off too.
Okay.
When I turn it back on, the water nozzle gets turned back on, and as you all see the levers, they all come on at
I mean,
once.
the external water connection is where? That's the internal. How do I connect water power going into the machine?
Into the machine, yeah, through this connector.
Through there, here. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So-
that's the gauge.
Right, so there's a diaphragm in there,
Right.
and it's a coil. So it's actually cooling the water or the fluid that's returning back to your hydraulic tank. So you're
Correct.
doing two things with it.
Okay. All right.
So as you use the machine, you're going to notice the water is kind of warm. It's supposed to be because
Okay.
there's an interchange there.
Okay. But that's not the water that goes to the mixer, right?
Yes, to the mix.
This is the water for the mix.
Yeah, they run through the diaphragm, then through here, and then down to your collector.
All right. So. All right. So I'm gonna need a special fitting.
To whatever you want to hook up.
When
to.
I connect the water to that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay. All right.
There's a counter of how many feet per minute you're using, and there's a calculation in your book. It tells you, every 1,000
Okay.
means, a yard of concrete.
That's the water calculation.
No, this is cement.
The cement calculation.
Cement.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So there's inspection windows here for the cement.
Yes.
There's a simple break off. You can dump bags or just use your,
Okay. Okay.
yeah, however you want to, throw it in there.
Okay.
Most common way is using the 500-pound bags,
Okay.
and then just somebody standing there just choking it, filling it up, stop. You usually get about, if you don't use the rings, 3 yards. If you use the extender rings, you'll get about 5 yards.
Okay. And how high is this auger? Is it 10 feet?
This one's 12,
12.
but you can only mix at a 25%. So any more than that. Now, if you have a 2-inch slump, oh yeah, it'll come right on out.
Right.
But on an 8-inch slump, it's going to run out the back.
Okay.
So usually 25% grade.
Okay.
So that means usually not more than about 7 feet off the ground.
Well, so what we're going to do is we're going to use the auger to drop it on a conveyor to run it up to the back of the truck.
Okay. Yeah. That's even better. So
Yeah.
then you could probably it might be more feasible to run it a little bit drier and then add the water in the cement.
Yes, correct. So so that point exactly. So the point is we will run it dry. The mixing, everything will be dry.
Yeah.
It'll drop on the conveyor and then the water be added at the tank.
Yeah. Right. It's more efficient when it's dry.
Yeah.
You stay within a 4 or 5 inch slump. I mean, it works really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah. So that's.
You'd be surprised how smooth it runs.
Yeah.
I mean, you just turn it on and watch it. And you're like, after you see it run a few times, and you kind of get the idea of what it's doing. You know, you're like, okay, I see how much the cement's dropping versus how much rock is dropping. Okay, well, I know I'm for every 2 loads I need to have somebody up on. So you kind of watch it, and you'll see it. I mean, I can tell you don't blue in the face how it runs, but until you get out there and you're okay, that's kind of weird, but okay. You know what I mean?
All right. That's great.
We do have skirts on it, so it shouldn't leak any aggregate or any cement without you taking a shroud. If you take a shroud off, of course, then you're going to have to reseal it. But right as it stands right now, you shouldn't have any loss.
Well, yeah, that's why I said we want to load it just like it is, so we don't have to. We can take it right off. Right. So we'll come back Monday with a 24 foot.
So if you're going into trucks, then I probably wouldn't worry about the mixed tanks. I would just dump. If you're going to do water reducer, I'd dump it right in the truck.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't worry about that too much.
Yeah.
So that might be another consideration. We did leave on an extra function in case you wanted to run something else, a pneumatic jack or whatever. So this is blanked out for you guys.
Okay.
You guys could run an accessory off of it, a power pack, a sweeper, a cutter, whatever.
Okay, that's great.
So for us, it would be, because we have a top-loaded silo, it would run the auger for the silo.
Okay.
So you can use that for an option. So it does have it to be included.
Okay.
I can't express enough grease.
Grease.
Yeah.
Okay, and like I said, we'll have Juan's gonna get us a manual, so we'll be good.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll be back here. I will send you a text Monday morning, tell you what time they're coming.
Okay.
It'll be a different set of guys, and they'll have a 24 footer.